So, we're now getting into how do we get ourselves motivated, get ourselves good. Thank you. I thought you were going to cross the camera to do one of those photo bombs. So, So we are trying to we already established, for those of you who this is like your first class, we already established in previous classes that we have a duty to be grateful to those who benefit us. Okay? Anybody that benefits you, you have a duty to be grateful, and the gratitude is dependent on the intention of the benefactor. That is, the more they have intention to benefit you, the more gratitude you owe them. Now, we're not looking at the outcome of that intention. We're looking at the etzem intention, because you've benefited. So people ask different questions about, what if the outcome doesn't exactly fit, and this and that. We dealt with that. So now, since he established that we should be grateful to human beings, he then went and said, in as much as we are grateful to human beings, we should be grateful to Hashem, because his intention is ultimately to benefit us completely and most perfectly. And he benefits us consistently all the time. He gives us the ability to live in his world, to enjoy immense pleasure, to grow, to experience wonderful things. Sometimes the wonderful things that we experience would not be so wonderful if we did not have adversity and difficulty. That's also something that you understand. That is, if you never had issues with, lack of food, like a fast even, then it's hard to really appreciate. But if you, fasted a couple of times and you know what it feels like when your stomach is, you have a greater pleasure in wolfing down a nice sandwich after that. Same thing with other experiences, that when we have difficulty and adversity, we tend to have greater appreciation. Those of you who've ever had your... what? I'm sorry?
No.
But you did say something, didn't you?
No.
You just made noise?
Yeah.
What noise did you make?
Just like the right way, I don't know.
Okay. Just write his name down. We're going to send you for evaluation. There's a mental institution up the street. Avi's on day 5, so you can just go with him. He's been sniffing glue and petting cats.
I never pet the cat.
Oh, you see? He admits.
This guy goes.
Listen. We don't do Lashon Hara in this year.
Fine.
You don't.
I tried to hold back, but
Yes.
he's going.
So, what I wanted to say is that you don't really appreciate a good roommate until you've had a bad roommate. You don't appreciate a good friend until you've had somebody that really wasn't such a good friend. That is, it's hard for us sometimes to really appreciate the blessings that we have unless we go through some difficulties. And so that's sort of the setup. And so he's already established the Chovos Halevavos, that we need to have gratitude to people and we need to have gratitude to Hashem. Now he says, this gratitude needs to turn into action. Gratitude, just in your mind, just in terms of recognizing, without actions, is insufficient. And how do we show gratitude to Hashem? In actions, we follow the Torah. Now, the way that Hashem really wants us to show gratitude is by doing chesed for other people. When Hashem blesses you with a lot of money, right? The whole point is that you pass it on. Don't just put it in your bank account and earn interest and then buy a jet ski. You like jet skis, Sagstein? You've never been on?
Yeah, once.
You don't know what you're missing.
Have you?
Many times. How do you think I get to yeshiva? I had this idea to open a Yeshivat Ohr Somayach branch in Dubai. You know, because a lot of people come there and they're trying to make money, and then we can try to help them connect to Hashem. And we'll have it by the, some jet skis. People can just come park the jet ski, come learn a little bit, shir on Chovos, Halevavos. Imagine. And we could teach it in Arabic over there, huh?
How long is your boat drive?
What?
Like from Eretz Yisrael to Dubai?
With a ship?
Yeah.
I don't know. Why?
Then like
We could do a yeshiva on the boat? You mean you want like a cruise?
that would be
Like
cool.
rip
That would
over
be
to
really
Dubai.
cool.
You wanna, like,
Bring it like a certain rabbi.
Well, what's wrong with flying?
Not as cool as a jet ski.
Yeah.
It's not a jet ski. Right. I could just see Rabbi Breitowitz or Rabbi Gottlieb. And Moshe is like, hold on. I don't know about that.
Is this where the $50 billion is going?
No. The $50 billion is a separate plan. Don't worry, that's not Dubai. But it's a little slow in coming, as you could tell. So how do we, lamaise, how do we show gratitude to Hashem? How do we start getting ourselves motivated to follow Hashem's teaching? So he says that since we are, and this we talked a little bit about this, that a person is made up of different entities. That we have a body, and then we have a spirit, a nefesh. And those two pull to different directions. The body is, for a lack of a better term, is pulling downward towards Gashmias, and the neshama is pulling upward. And for some of us, the goof is much stronger, the body is stronger, and so it's pulling you down. And you feel the struggle of the neshama against the body, but you can't really resist it. And there are those who are able to break that overpower, at least for sometimes. The neshama is overpowering the goof, the body, and therefore it's being able to get the body to do what it wants. Like getting up for shachris, which is one of the great battles for young men, is to get out of bed in time for shachris. Another battle. Well, we're on camera, so never mind. Sorry, Hoodie. But there's a battle. What's wrong? What are you looking at him for?
I don't know. You just looked at him.
Can't I have...
Yet.
What?
I didn't see Goody yet.
You didn't see him today. Okay.
No, I didn't see
Fine.
him here.
Tov. He was next to me when I made the hot chocolate, so I knew he was here. Anyway, so you have to pay attention and recognize that you are made of two parts. And he says that really the soul wants to leave the body. It doesn't want to stay in this. The soul looks at the body as a prison. It's trapped there. And the body can have negative effect on the neshama. And the neshama can have a very positive effect on the body. Because it could lead the body to become pure, tahor, by convincing the body to go to the mikveh. right? It can control what your eyes see, can control what you hear, can control what you touch, and so on and so forth. So he says, therefore, that the challenge for us is that the primary human experience that human beings have is physical pleasure. That's how we all start out. Think of it, of your childhood. Right? When you're a baby, you're essentially guided by physicality. It's unbelievable what you can convince kids to do for a piece of candy. Right? When they get a little older, for a beer. It just same thing as a candy. And later on, apparently, it's a bottle of arak. Your name was mentioned along with a bottle of arak. Yeah. Okay, at least he takes responsibility. And so, as you grow, the midas of taivas, of physical desires, get stronger and stronger and stronger as you grow. And it is so strong that it causes you not to think straight, and therefore our decision making becomes problematic. We make decisions based on our desires and not really what's to our best interest. This is one of the things that people talk about, that you should have an enlightened self-interest, that is, try to figure out long-term and short-term. Yeah, I get it, you want to eat. Yeah, I get it, you want to relax. Yeah, I get it that you might be fun hanging out with these guys. But for the long term, you're not going to get anywhere with this crew. They're a bunch of jokesters. They go to Ben Yehuda, sitting and having hookah. What's going to happen? They're going to have a few beers, have a few laughs. You wasted 2-3 hours with X amount of money, and that's it. Right, Nachshon? You're not part of that group. But you could understand what I'm saying. You agree with me that it's better, there's better uses of time than doing that. Okay, that's good. But it affects our eyes, the taivas, because taivas desires mean that we're going to want to search certain things with our eyes. We get attracted to certain things. It's called eye candy. Some people are attracted to cars, fancy cars. Some people are attracted to, those videos that people watch on the phone. Whatever those apps are, there's Reels. And I'm not trying to, I'm not judging, really. I don't really, But the point is that there's better uses of your time. I'm not talking about what you're looking at actually. But there's better uses of your time. Even if you're not going to use that time for Torah learning, but let's say you're going to practice your math skills, or you're going to do some push-ups, or, I don't know, crunches. Something is better than just... Now, sometimes somebody could say, listen, Rabbi, I need to just zone. I just need to just do nothing and not think about anything. I get that. Okay, so then you say, okay, I'm going to be on my phone for 30 minutes. That's it. But it sort of drags you. You get sucked into it, and then, 3 hours later, when your arm now is all cramped and your fingers are like this, because you kept doing that, and you just wasted a tremendous amount of time. Right, Dan? Yes. I always can count on Dan for support. And so, he says that the taivas, the desires, essentially chip away at our good moral character. Taivas, when we have desires, it means it's going to block us from truly being grateful. Because we are about satisfying our wants. And we think that we're owed those sort of things. And it starts chipping away, slowly, slowly, at our good midot and our potential for perfection. And he says, these are the things that the Torah tries to warn us against. Teach us the negative influences of our taivas and how we should value the intellect, the seichel. Because it's only through the intellect that you're going to ever get control over yourself. And, when you meet people, there's some people that you meet and essentially their lives have been dictated by their taivas. They just essentially never stopped and thought, what is my responsibility in this world? Why am I here? What am I supposed to accomplish? Are you here just to drink one six-pack after another? Are you here to, hold a football? That's it? This is what Hashem created you for? Is it? And so the intellect is also the source of us getting away from the influences, the strong influences of the desires. Now he says something very interesting, that the body, in order to sustain itself, requires what? Water. What else? Food. Sleep. Oxygen. Okay. Anything else? So you've got oxygen, food and drink, and sleep.
Exercise.
What?
Exercise.
Required?
Well, if you don't do it, then it collapses. Yeah, shelter. Shelter's required.
Required shelter?
People live outside. Have you read Mesley's Hara?
No, they still live under. They still have something above them. So they dig a thing and then they're covered. They hide it in an animal.
Saying if nobody if they get no exercise,
What if they're in Africa?
The person's gonna die.
Yeah, they're covered.
The people in Africa, we have Africans right here. You can ask them. I think they live under shelter. They have no electricity or running water. Oh, it's a little better. It's a little better now, I heard. Yeah, Baruch Hashem.
Elephant power.
Okay, so the body requires food in order to sustain itself. But the question is, what does strengthen the neshama or the intellect? Torah. How do you know that?
It's a guess.
It's a guess. So he says the Torah really is medicine for all of the ailments or illnesses of the nefesh, of the soul. When somebody has bad moral character, it means that he needs the Torah to help him fix his moral character. There are midos. There are moral characteristics that we should have. For example, number one, humility. Humility is the first midah that a person needs to have, because without that, they are unable to learn. A person who is not humble won't accept any information from somebody else because he thinks he's a know-it-all. Who is he to tell me what I should do or not do? I know better, right? So the first step to your moral development is, at some level, start working, repairing the midah of humility. Because if you're not humble, I can read whatever book I put in front of you, and it's not going to affect you because you know better. But it's only if you understand that there's some wisdom here that I could benefit from, and I need to just listen and not be so arrogant about it. So you need humility. We already said gratitude. You have to have some level of bravery. Not be afraid of everything. You need to have the midah of shame. That is, shame is a very good moral quality because it's going to keep you within certain boundaries. Right? If you have a level of shame, you would never show up to shir in a base medrash wearing shorts. You'd have respect. Right, Dan?
Yeah, so my community in Manila, they wear shorts in the synagogue.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so don't invite me for Shabbat. Well, here in Israel, we don't wear.
Yeah.
Especially when you're, these are your legs. What you don't, these two noodles coming out of your hips. You better start doing some exercises for your, there are leg days, you know that.
There's no such thing.
Chase, you got to help him out. Did you see these?
I'm hitting legs after this class. Let's go. Yeah.
Should I come?
Come to Lazuz, yeah.
To what?
Lazuz.
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 What is it? Why?
The gym.
Is it kosher?
No.
So you can't invite people to non-kosher gyms. Oh. What was that? How do you do that? Testing, 1, 2, 1. Am I back? Good. I don't know. How did it end up over there? How long was it down there? Opa. How?
He was so shocked that this girl's
It's the
at this
thickness
gym.
of the job.
I think
I
the
see.
mic itself just popped out.
Yeah, let's not invite.
It's a good gym.
I didn't say it's bad, Jim. I asked if it's kosher.
Good machines. kosher pre-workout.
You know, in Sodom and Gomorrah, they also had an amazing gym.
Yeah, did they?
And look what happened over there.
A stretcher? They had a good stretcher?
They had a stretcher, they had a little chop machine.
Yeah, a little chop machine.
Yeah.
Devices.
Okay. So, the Torah tells us how we can reduce the material that the body wants, which means that we're weakening our desires and strengthening the neshama. Okay? It says that's what the Torah tells us, how to do this. It tells us the mitzvahs that we need in order to counteract the power of the body. For example, prayer and fasting, giving tzedakah, doing chesed. All of these aspects strengthen the mind, the soul, and weaken the body. Why do you think tzedakah does that? It hurts to give sometimes. Does it?
If you don't have the money.
If you don't have the money, it hurts to give. Hurts? What does that mean, hurts? Like your mom is like, ah!
Little bit.
Wow. Wow, I gotta see that. I've never saw that.
When you're going for it, you're like, do I do this? Do I not? I get it. And then
Okay, but I'm asking, how does it reduce the taivas? How does it strengthen the neshama?
it takes away from your materialistic.
Yes, that you are giving. Yeah, hoodie.
Because then you realize that like you didn't make the money yourself. Hashem like gave you the money, and like now you're giving it because it's not all yours.
Nice, that's a beautiful idea. Good. What about doing chesed? How is chesed weakening the desires of the body and strengthening your neshama? What?
Keeps you busy.
Oh, that's interesting. Keeps you busy. Okay, what else?
You get used to being a giver and being more like Hashem.
You get used to being a giver. That is, you are withholding, you're taking things that you could use for your physical pleasure and you're giving it away. You're giving it away. And in that sense, since you are doing something that doesn't provide physical enjoyment to you, but you know that it helps the other person, that already starting to change the power relations between your body and your neshama. And that's what he says.
It feels good sometimes too.
Physically,
Mentally, it feels good.
that's what we're talking about.
Like, it feels good when you bake a tray of cookies or something like that for, like, family, they just had a baby, and you're like, here you go. Like, what's it called? Like, you guys don't have time for this. Here's a quick snack,
Excellent, beautiful. Bake some cookies. Excellent. One of the things that every once in a while I have this idea, Noam. Noam, you're with us? You okay? Okay. I'm not used to seeing the back of your head or the top of your head. But you're okay. Good. Every once in a while, I come up with this idea that I think we should have among the students a chesed committee. Or what do I mean by that? That they're like 3 guys who... You're the wrong guy. You're totally the wrong guy. Trust me. I didn't explain what I mean by this.
Okay, fine, go.
Oh, go, Rabbi. There's the humility. Go. Yeah, and how much time do I have? 15 minutes? We're going today beyond any time previously. We're going to go beyond. I've had the hot chocolate.
Was good? It's good hot chocolate? Very good.
I think I put a little too much powder. Because I tried to put it in, it fell in, so.
You never put too much.
But you say I'm not coffee? Kind of mess with not coffee.
I don't know. You could always have too much of anything.
No, not hummus.
Even sushi, there's a, like, at some point, you're like, get this away from me.
So with this chesed
Can I get some real, yeah. So back to the chesed committee. The idea is like maybe 2, 3, 4 guys that know, what? Again, you're doing this.
What do you say? What do you say?
I just made a cat noise.
You're making cat noises?
Yeah.
Okay, you definitely need to go getting to looked at. Avi, call them and tell them to bring the jacket. You know which jacket I'm talking about. And a helmet.
What's the helmet for?
So when he bangs the head against the wall, he doesn't hurt himself. So, Chase, this idea is like this. 3 or 4 guys that they are actually good relationship, good friends with the other guys in Mechina. And that when they see that somebody needs a little bit of a chizuk, a little bit of a help, somebody's not feeling well, they get them soup. Somebody that is, you don't always need the rabbis to tell you, oh, go get him lunch. That they are sort of like, they see, let's say Yirmi has a bad day. So they're like, hey, Yirmi needs a chesed, let's like hang out with him a little bit today. Or that they kind of keep tabs on everybody just so that everybody is taken care of. We all have wonderful days, and sometimes we have difficult days. Sometimes you wake up in the morning and it's like, you don't feel like going to class. And you miss class. And this chesed goes, hey, how you doing? Everything's good? Good. That's it. No mas, you don't have to do anything. But if somebody is sick, somebody checks on him. Because if the rabbis get involved, sometimes it's a little too, it puts you on the spot. Like when I ask a guy, hey, where were you? They always think like I'm mad at them. But I'm really just concerned. I want to know what happened. Where were you?
Yeah, literally.
But that's the idea, that, you guys have to do chesed to one another. You guys live with one another. You know each other a lot better than the rabbis know you. What?
You would do a great job.
Who? Avi?
Yeah.
Really?
Team captain, yeah.
No, Moshe is captain.
Avi, I think with Avi there's an issue. We had the flip it and flop it incident, and then now he admitted publicly that he sniffs glue.
I sniffed glue once by mistake, Rabbi. It was not on purpose.
This is what he's willing to admit. That's how it starts. Listen, this is your intervention.
I nominate you.
I nominate you.
Nominate Moshe.
The Chesed committee.
I think it's hard. I think it's hard to. It's a
Yes.
tough idea, but I think people, everyone's going through their own stuff, and everyone's struggling throughout their own day and doing their own things.
Good. So that's why you have a committee, a group that everybody sort of, so that you catch when somebody has, listen, like Yosef, you know, he's in Mechina, but you never hear him, you never see him. You know, he plays basketball every once in a while, but that's it. You know, maybe somebody should sit down with him and say, "Hey, everything good? You okay?" He's like, "Don't leave me alone. Do chesed with me. Get away from me." That means that he needs it even more so. He's denying that fact that he needs it.
I see why the idea
Never caught on. Right? For example, some people get homesick. Some people don't really have anywhere to go. So, and you also have to make sure that you break through the cliques. There are cliques in every program, in every social situation. There are the cool guys and the not so cool guys. And then there's Avi. You know.
I'm at the top.
That's it. Yes. It's just something to. I'm not telling you that's what you should do, but I think you should think about it and maybe take it as an interesting project, Sam. Now the guys in the one-on-ones like, well, we don't need it, we're fine. Okay, I'm not telling you have to do it. What, Nachshon? You raise your hand. No, you did raise your hand.
I'm playing with my water bottle.
You're playing with your water bottle. Yes.
Can I recommend another idea, Rabbi?
Can you recommend another idea? Yes.
So, like, I don't know if it will be monthly or weekly, but like Moshe takes like 99% of responsibility cleaning and setting up, and nobody else does. So maybe like 2 oaks would take it for the week or the month, and you rotate.
Oaks means dudes.
Yes.
You have to speak English.
Here's the issue.
Here's the issue.
He's gonna do it anyway, so and listen, it would help if you go and help him.
Maybe you should not speak about him in front of him. Yeah, there's a guy is sitting here, you know, he's doing all the chesed in Mechina, takes care of Mishmar, takes care of the breakfast, and maybe we should step up and maybe the only thing that you should do is show gratitude and appreciation for Moshe. Woo! With cash. Good. Yirmi is volunteering to bring the cash.
I
Yes.
think everyone can be everyone's best friend to the point of, everyone's like, oh my gosh, how are you? The person's going to be hurt, because the next time you see him, you've got your own stuff you're dealing with. And it's like, oh, you didn't ask me how I was now. Now he's hurt again. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I actually have no idea what you're saying.
that's Marshall, I know what
I'm
saying.
trying good. Well, now you both know. Now you know how I feel. What are you saying, Tzaddik?
I think it's
If you have,
necessary.
just let me ask you, okay, we have buildings, right? There's people who live here,
Yeah.
people who live here, and people who live here. Okay, if you take one person from here, one person from here, one person from here, right? You have your friends, he has his friends, and let's say, Stam, I don't know, Yitzchak has his friends. Let's just say, okay? And each of you have the pulse of these rooms, and you have these rooms, and you have these rooms, and it's just like, hey, I noticed this, and that's all. So whoever is close to that, say something. Hey, that's all. It's not coming from. You're not a psychologist. You're not a therapist.
You're the captain.
You just put your title on it.
Yeah, you do that.
Yeah, you do that every day. I get a knock on my door every single day. Asking me if I'm coming into shir.
Good. That's ultimate chesed that he's doing for you.
I know, and I'm grateful for it. It's a lot more helpful
Than me banging on you, yelling and screaming. Hey, where are you? And then you write down.
I was waiting for that to come up at some point.
Okay, so let's keep going, guys. The whole purpose of what the Torah teaches us in terms of mitzvot, of gemilut chasadim, tefillah, is to increase the light in this world and in the next. And that's how you have to look at it. That your body sort of makes things darker and darker and darker. If the body is not doing it, l'shem shamayim, and to do a mitzvah. It's just very important point, because somebody's going to bring it up. There isn't a single mitzvah that you could do, except the 6 that are only in your mind. I know those, but we're not going to get into those now. But for every other mitzvah, you need the body to cooperate. Tefillah, you need the body. Eating matzah, you need the body. Putting tefillin, you need the body. Doing chesed, you need the body. Even simple chesed as smiling at a person. Saying, Jeremy, hey, Jeremy, to see you. But you knew that I was looking at you.
I did.
But we will make sure that he doesn't sit there anymore. You cannot sit there now, because it's confusing. Yeah, but you outrank him. And he's making cat noises in class. What are you doing? What is this? What?
Giving a fist bump. It's the COVID hello.
It's like we're both Jeremys and we just have a connection.
Wow.
Yeah. And we're switching seats.
The increase of light requires the body to cooperate. You can't learn Torah without the body. You need your eyes. You need your mind clear so you can get it. You need to concentrate. If you're antsy, if you're the whole, that means you need the body to cooperate. There's something you need to do to get this. Now, I'm not telling you that you have to take Ritalin or drugs, but it's just something that you need to work through. The body is resisting. Right, Nachshon? When the body is resisting, you have 2 choices. You can give in to the body, Saxton. You can give in, or you say to the body, okay, I'll give you what you want, but in 1 more minute. And that 1 minute becomes another minute and another minute. Over time, long term. And all of a sudden, instead of just being able to sit 15 minutes and concentrate on what the text says and invest, you can now do it 20 minutes. And then in a few months, it becomes 30 minutes. And slowly you increase your level of concentration, your ability to push yourself, and it happens. It happens. The mind is, to some extent, is like working out. You have to work that mind. And the more time you spend with, for example, if you're interested, if your goal is to improve in Gemara, you need to spend more time with Gemara. You know, if you want to bench a certain weight, okay, it's not going to happen unless you're spending more time in the gym working to bench that weight. There's no shortcuts. Same thing with Gemara. You have to put in your time. But the sages, the Sfarim HaKadoshim, I should say better, say that whatever in ruchnius, in spirituality, that you pray for, you will get. Because that's your ultimate purpose in this world. To be wealthy, that might not be your purpose. Hashem might say, no. To have, how many kids did you want to say? 14? That might, Hashem would say, no. He might say no. I'm sure she's going to say no. Yeah, but you're one of those, huh? No does not mean no. That's really bad. Anything in spirituality that you pray for, that you ask for, you will get. I've seen in the holy books, many Sfarim mention this idea, that when you pray to Kadosh Baruch Hu for Siyata Dishmaya to learn, you will get the tools that you need. It's not overnight. Don't think that if you go to bed and you wake up in the morning, then you would know the 2,711 dafs of Gemara or 4,192 Mishnayos. It's not overnight. Yes, and some people think that if they stick the Gemara under their pillow, they'll wake up and they'll know the entire Kiddushin. No, you'll just have your neck hurt. Yes, Jeremy?
But sometimes people pray to God for things and they don't happen.
In spirituality or in outside of spirituality? I mean, we're talking, that's the distinction. Correct? There are some people who pray for health. And unfortunately, sometimes it's too late. Yes, you're right. Sometimes you pray for things that are dependent on other people's free will. For example, you meet a girl and you think that she's it, and you pray to Hashem, please let me marry, make her want me. And she's praying, please get this guy away from me. Right? And it doesn't work out, so what are you going to do? Complain to Hashem? No, your prayer should be, Hashem, please let me find my beshert. And whoever she is. And it shouldn't matter whether she's short, fat, yente with a mustache. It doesn't matter. If that's your beshert, that's what your beshert is. Come on. Sorry? You could be really happy with her. No, Jeremy?
No chance.
No chance? Short, fat, yente with a mustache? Come on. Don't be so superficial. She has a great personality. She's great Baal Chesed. Okay, I don't need to convince you. You're looking at the only person that is going to determine when we stop.
I was waiting
For Dan to start screaming. And see, he can't turn the camera off today. He's not in charge. What?
The whole point of the watch.
I need to get the 50 shekel to pay me for it.
You don't have to pay me for it. I told you it was a gift.
I know, but I can't use it.
You can't pay me when it's a gift.
Can we just stop the whole side conversation? Dan, could you please next time don't let them in? Okay. So we are here to increase light. And this is a very deep idea. Sit down, relax, sit down. I got 3 more minutes, and this is going to change your life. Fine. Weak bladdered one. Go. Springing a leak already, I can tell. Hopping away. We should all run out when he comes in. And we'll all go upstairs, and he comes in, and there's nobody here. That would be great, huh? I did that before. What?
April Fool's Day?
No, we don't celebrate April Fools.
Celebrate. It's just feeling April Fool's.
But we're not in April.
So March. Well, no.
No?
December.
You're just way off. Why don't we just do it for Chanukah? Too. But this is the idea that I wanted to share with you, and we can end with this. The physical world is meant to hide God. God created physicality to hide himself. And therefore, the sages liken the physical world to darkness. Our whole purpose is to find Hashem within this darkness. Our task is to find or increase the light, and through that, we discover we find Hashem. I think it's the Sfas Emes, but one of the Sfas Emes, the Imrerim, one of them was watching kids. I don't remember which Hasidic master it is now, because I have another name popping in my head. But he was watching kids playing hide and seek. Yeah, I think it's Rav Baruch Mimzibuz. and it wasn't the Sfas Emes. He was watching a few kids playing hide and go seek. Do you know the game? I don't know if they play that everywhere. Do they play it in Bayafula? You don't know. He played it in Chicago, not in Afula. So the game is very simple. One person stands by a tree and counts till 10, everybody goes hide. And then the person who's counting has to go find the people who are hiding. And the Rebbe sees a kid behind a tree crying. And he asked him, "Why are you crying?" So the kid says, "We were playing hide and go seek, and nobody sought me. Nobody was trying to find me." And Rabbi Baruch says, that's what the Kadosh Baruch Hu is saying. He hid himself, he's hiding, and what does he want? He wants us to discover him. And the problem is that there are people who are not looking for Hashem. And that really is our responsibility. And it is when we increase the light, it's easier to see HaKadosh Baruch Hu. When we weaken the desires, we weaken the taivas, we can see more clearly the relationship of Hashem to this world and to us specifically. And that's how we should continue to increase the light.